Welcome back.
We're back.
We're back.
Halloween edition.
Back.
Spookiness.
Spookiness.
History
in the
of Halloween. What do you think?
Turn your light on. This scary Halloween. People dress up mad.
It is not scary. Let's go, guys.
Today we're diving deep into the ancient roots of a festival that many of us know as Halloween. But did you know its origins trace back to the Celtic festival of Samhain? Let's unravel the mysteries together. The tradition dates back over 2,000 years to the Celts who resided in what is now Ireland, the UK, and northern France. For them, November 1st wasn't just another day. It marked the end of summer, the harvest, and the onset of a cold, dark winter, a season often linked with human mortality. The Celts believed that the boundary between the living and the dead blurred on the eve of their new year, October 31st. This was the night of Samhain, a time when ghosts were believed to return to Earth. But it wasn't all spooky. The presence of these spirits was thought to empower the Druids, or Celtic priests, to predict the future, a crucial comfort during the bleak winter months. And how did they commemorate this event? With grandeur. Druids would construct massive sacred bonfires where people congregated to burn crops and animals as offerings to the Celtic gods. And here's a fun fact. The Celts would don costumes made of animal heads and skins, attempting to foretell each other's futures, while other tales say that the Irish people would dress their children up as demons as to disguise them from the dead roaming the earth, thus protecting them for another year. Sounds a bit like the origins of our modern-day Halloween costumes, perhaps? But how did this ancient festival evolve into today's Halloween? By 43 AD, the Romans had conquered most of the Celtic territory. Over the next 4 centuries, they merged 2 of their own festivals with Samhain. One was Feralia, a day to remember the dead. The other honored Pomona, the goddess of fruit and trees. Ever wondered why we bob for apples on Halloween? Well, Pomona's symbol is the apple. From ancient Celtic rituals to Roman festivals, the evolution of Samhain has given us the rich tapestry of traditions we associate with Halloween today. That's all for today, folks. Join us next time as we explore more intriguing histories. Stay curious.
That's mad, isn't it?
Stay curious after all that.
I know.
Burning animals' bodies.
That's crazy.
They think. What
They
do they
dip the
believe?
apple in the water as well.
They think if you burn something or they kill humans or animals' head,
In
you're gonna see the future.
that witches. When they used to burn the witches because I don't know.
Black magic.
But did you hear what he said about the apples? He dipped the apples in the water. They do that today. And that was from, what did he say, 14 something AD or something like that? So you could see that it evolved. Halloween went from one thing to the other thing to the other thing to what we have today, where people spend so much money in costumes and stuff like that.
People still that to today.
So I think it's all money anyway, man.
Nah, magic.
Celebrating, what is it? God, I can't wait to see the rest of this video to see what the history is.
This is part 2 of the Halloween Killer.
Yes.
The night of the murder. French left her home at around 5:45 p.m. dressed as a hobo, wearing a black felt hat, a green parka, jeans with blue masking tape, and dotted freckles on her cheeks. French originally intended to be accompanied by another friend, Ann Parker, on her way to an outdoor Halloween party at Pumpkin Place on East Bank Street. Parker, however, had been grounded, so she had to stay home, leaving French to trick-or-treat by herself. It was reported that French stopped for candy at a classmate's house and the house of one of her teachers, Karen Bucknecht, before she made her way to Turner's residence with the hopes of receiving more candy. According to Turner's confession, French rang his doorbell, said trick-or-treat, and walked through his open doorway with her candy bag open as Turner came to the door. Turner and French began to talk about candy, and at some point during their encounter, Turner lured French into his bedroom where he SA'd and murdered her. Turner said that after the SA, French wasn't breathing. He attempted to revive her but was interrupted when Arlene Penn arrived home. Penn, who had been at the party French was supposed to attend, said that she arrived around 7 p.m. Turner was wearing a bathrobe and claimed multiple times that he was sick. Yeah, well, what you did is sick.
Sick
Penn
in the
said
head.
that Turner made several trips to the bedroom to lie down. In Turner's confession, he said that French's body was at that time in the adjacent bathroom. After Penn left the residence at around 8 p.m. to visit her mother, Turner stuffed French's body and clothes into separate bags and drove her body to Kita, Wisconsin. I don't know. where he discarded her corpse in a farm field of McCabe Road. In an effort to avoid leaving evidence of fingerprints on French's body or on the crime scene, Turner wore socks on his hands when moving the body. He also wiped down French's shoes and the zipper of her parka. French's mother, Mary Ann Geirig, started to grow worried about French's whereabouts when she did not return home for her 7 p.m. curfew. By 10 p.m., a search party had formed and begun looking for the young girl. After a 4-day countywide and extensive search for the missing girl, which included over 5,000 volunteers, 700 block parents, auxiliary police officers, the United States National Guard, and some of her fellow Girl Scouts, a farmer named Gerald Braun was returning home in his tractor in Taikita on November 3, 1973 at 11:30 a.m. when he discovered 2 brown plastic bags behind a barbed wire fence near a forest on McGabe Road. One containing French's naked corpse, the other containing the clothes of her Halloween costume. An autopsy performed on French's body had revealed that French had died from asphyxiation, though a pathologist had also stated she had died from circulatory shock from the sexual trauma that she endured. Go to part 3.
Sick you, bro. Took the little girl, probably raped her. What? There's some dirtbags out here, like, man. I wonder if they caught him and put him in jail. Yeah, actually, that was a mugshot.
They'll probably cited him in jail, I'll tell you that now.
Oh, yeah, those guys, they get violent. Yeah.
Especially to like, kids.
Yeah,
When they find out, chuck them in prison. Yeah, paedophile or whatever it is, they'll put a work on him.
Yeah, they get them.
Have you heard of some people as well suck people's blood? They like human blood.
Vampire type stuff.
Yeah, vampire. But they actually do it. So you drink blood, it's good for you.
Halloween, yeah. I won't be surprised. There's some people that celebrate, I think it's in the UK every year, where all the people come, all the Draculas, they come together. Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
And do what?
It's like a gathering, they just meet each other up.
Shit.
Yeah, it's every year, and apparently it's growing. And they're all just like Dracula, the women just like Dracula, they all got the things and stuff like that. All blood hanging out, they all got their eyes and shit.
Yeesh. Mentally, they're not stable.
That's not normal, bro. Dracula is not real, bro. You can't drink, you know, drinking. You know when you taste your own blood, it's not even nice.
Yeah, but people drink it.
Yeah.
I've seen it always in a documentary on YouTube or something. People just drinking blood.
Yeah, some type people, bro. See?
More than taps.
Sometimes they could do that to kids and
Did children go trick-or-treating in the Middle Ages? Well, Halloween has a history that goes back almost 2,000 years. It originated from an ancient Celtic festival called Samhain, and the people would light bonfires to ward off ghosts and demons and things like that. In the 8th century, the Pope moved the day in where they celebrated Christian saints and martyrs to November 1st and named it All Hallows Day, meaning the Day of the Holy Ones, which is now known as All Saints' Day. And in the year 1048 is when November 2nd became known as All Souls' Day, which is a day to honor the dead. And it was possibly done to replace the Celtic festival with a holiday of the Christian Church. It was tradition to start celebrations the evening before a holiday, so this made October 31st known as All Hallows Evening, and eventually All Hallows Eve, and then Halloween. People during the Middle Ages celebrated All Hallows Eve with many of the same rituals done during Samhain. These included large bonfires, feast, and dancing. They would also dress in costumes of saints and angels as the celebrations went on. The poor, and typically poor children, would dress up and go door to door asking for food or money in exchange for reciting prayers or singing for the family's departed loved ones. And the reason for dressing up in disguise was so that they could hide themselves from the spirits, and if you dressed up as a spirit or the dead, it would protect you from being harmed by them. So this is why things like skeletons and ghosts are associated with Halloween. So many years later, these activities evolved into the trick-or-treating and Halloween nights that we know of today.
Evil in the atmosphere.
Celebrated on October 31st, holds deep cultural and historical significance. Originally known as All Hallows Eve, it marks the night before All Saints' Day, a Christian holiday honoring saints. However, Halloween's roots trace back to ancient Celtic traditions, particularly the festival of Samhain.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying that.
Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter in Celtic regions. It was believed that on this night, the boundary between the living and the dead was blurred, allowing spirits to roam the earth. To ward off malevolent entities, people lit bonfires and wore costumes to disguise themselves. Over time, these Celtic customs merged with Christian traditions, resulting in the modern Halloween. Today, it's a time of playful and spooky festivities. Children don costumes, go trick-or-treating for candy, and carve pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns. Adults often engage in costume parties and haunted house visits. Beyond its historical roots, Halloween serves as an opportunity for self-expression, creativity, and community bonding. It invites people to confront their fears in a safe and enjoyable manner, while celebrating the whimsical and eerie aspects of life. Ultimately, Halloween is a multifaceted holiday that blends ancient traditions, religious observance, and contemporary fun, making it a cherished part of global culture.
It makes it sound so nice, doesn't it?
Global culture.
The real-life inspiration for Scream. Daniel Rowling was the inspiration for Ghostface in Scream. He may not be as famous as Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy, but trust me, he was just as brutal. It started in the summer of 1990 when he broke into a Florida apartment and watched and then proceeded to end the life of 2 female college students. Before he left, he posed the bodies like statues for the police to find. The very next night, he struck again, but this time, he broke in, sat down, and waited for the young woman to come home in the early morning. Unfortunately, he took her life too, but this time, he took her head away from her body. The state of Florida is in shock, and just like clockwork, 2 days later, he strikes again. But this time, he did not expect the female's roommate to be there. They both get in a fight, and Daniel gets the better of him. The roommate heard the commotion and went to go hide in the closet. And just like a horror movie, Daniel found her and ended her. But luckily for the state of Florida, Daniel had a huge mouth, and he was caught just a few months later. The police found out that he had ended a family of 3 in Louisiana just a few months prior to his actions in Florida.
Some crazy people out there, right?
Real ghost face. You probably get a pleasure out of it.
Yeah, it's tapped, man.
Just some people get a pleasure, just killing people, saying horror stuff.
No, but it's just women as well.
Just took her head out.
The reason why it's women is because obviously the men, they're going to fight you back. See, if that was 2 guys, they're tucking him in.
He ain't taking my head out. It's going to be a struggle.
When you look at him, he looks really stocky as well a little bit. Come on, he's going to overpower them, even if there's 2. I think to get him down, you need like 5 women.
Nah, 2 of them don't knock. He said he had a fight.
No, he said one of them and the other one hid in the closet. He went and found her and killed her as well.
She's backed up virgin.
But yeah, obviously she's scared, bro.
If he's gonna do that,
screaming, blah blah blah. If you can hear next door somebody screaming, you're gonna come out. You're a woman. I ain't coming out.
I'm locking my door.
But then again, I want to hide.
No, but if you're there in front of me, you would do that.
I want to hide in the closet. I'm trying to jump out the window. I'm gone, bro. I am gone. But yeah, good thing they call him, man.
Nah,
Creep.
Real ghost face.
Weirdo.
But what do you think of the other video? They make profit of the sales out of this stuff,
Maybe.
Now going to the fall season.
What's this one?
The Celtic people of the North
Muslims
used to believe that during the fall season their year began. And actually for the Celtics, their New Year's was November 1st. October 31st was the final day of the year for the Celtic people of the North. And that day was called the Day of Samhain. And this individual, wal-iyadu billah, was supposed to be their god of the spirits of the dead, of evil again. And according to their belief, the evil spirits would rise to the surface and would terrorize people on that evening. And on that evening, if you did something wrong to a person, they'd come back to get you on that night. So some people would put on a disguise, so you couldn't recognize them on October 31st on that evening, and then they would be safe. Also, they would burn fires Now the only thing we find left of that is the jack-o'-lantern that they were put inside of their window made from the pumpkin. What actually happened in Europe is that the church moved All Saints Day, a day for the saints. They moved it from May 13th to November 1st in 1834 AD. And so what they said was that the 31st night is All Hallows Evening. All Hallows Evening, which in America later became known as Halloween. Halloween. And they depict the forces of evil. What is happening now is that the children put on disguises. They dress as little devils, little witches, as goblins, vampires, anything evil, and they go out, and now with the new American way, they do trick-or-treat. And they come to your house asking for food. Do they do that here in Miami? Trick-or-treat. They knock on your door in the disguise. And some Muslims, thinking they want to be Americans, or they want to be Canadians, they send their little children, and they're in little disguises. So what are you going to dress them as? A little angel? What are you going to be? How are you going to dress and go out there? And so the reality that we recognize that, number one, this is the day of Samhain. And the Quran tells us, Inna shaytana lil insani aduwwun mubin, that the devil is an open enemy to humanity.
That's a good one.
Be honest, that one was shot.
Because he said, look, if they get them dressed up and go to the house, before you know it, the real devil knocking in your house.
Yeah. You used to trick or treat, to be honest.
Never.
Trick or treat, and you'll be there trying to pop lock and that's funny, bro. Nah, obviously, Dean wise, we're not meant to, obviously. But then again, if pay attention to some, they're saying basically this thing started from the church. They used to have a thing called All Saints Day. And then it went from All Hallows Day for the spirits and stuff like that, and they changed it. So, if this thing that started from between like a church thing that they used to do, they used to basically like make a day where they could celebrate all the martyrs and stuff like that. How did it go from a church doing all to go for the martyrs and stuff to costumes and devils and how did we go to today, Halloween, trick or treat, blah blah blah? Remember in the first 2-3 videos down, they said the children would go and they would say food and what they call it. How did it go today from sweets?
Because they have to turn it fun.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. So it's that.
Remember I said it's all fun to make them dress as costume, come to the house. It's all fun and game, but after that, when the real devil comes. But remember, they
but that's what I'm trying to say. They want to disguise something bad and make it look good.
Yeah.
But really it's bad because you're celebrating the Devil's Day and you're doing this and you're doing that. But in reality, they make it look fun. And in the other video I was saying, it's a day where you can just express yourself and, ooh. And it's not really about that. It's hidden, something hidden inside. It's like a hidden agenda. But this was a good video, man, Halloween. You used to trick or treat, bro.
I'm eating them chocolate. I don't know about trick or treat.
He was a trick or treater, I know for a fact. But we got a good video. At least we got to learn the history. Guys, do your research on things. Don't just celebrate anything. Go and find out what it's actually about. The agenda behind it. If there's not an agenda behind it, if it's just fun and games. At the end of the day, do whatever makes you guys happy. It's up to you. That's the end of our video. We'll see you guys in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe, and we out.
Peace.